This is Gemara Baba Basra, Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, and all the learning should bring an incredible refuah shlema for Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva. Baruch Hashem, slow and steady, b'siyata d'shemaya. We should be able to share that Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva has had a complete refuah shlema. Much tefillah and schusim are certainly necessary, but Amir Hashem, the Kayach HaTorah knows no bounds. We're holding in the bottom of Kuf Yud Amud Aleph, about 10 lines from the bottom at the two dots. And a note, as we say before every yontif, we will try our best to be putting up 2 a day for the next few days, so that we can have everything up before yontif. That's the plan. We'll see if we could get there. So the Mishnah taught us that brothers from the father, both Neuchelin, Umanchilin. By now we know that Neuchelin means they themselves inherit. Manchilin is that they give over, they bequeath to others. Says the Gemara, Min Nolan. Where do we know this? And particularly the kasha of the Gemara is honing in on the Achin Min Ha'av, clearly teaching that Achin Min Ha'im, brothers from a mother, would not be the same din. Amar Rabba Asya Achva Mibnei Yankiv. We're learning Zera Shava of brothers from Bnei Yaakov, Alan Min Ha'av, V'loi Min Ha'im, Avka Min Ha'av, V'loi Min Ha'im. We learn Xer Shava from the fact that with regard to Nachala, the word Achva is used. The pasuk in Devarim uses the word Nachla. So too by Yaakov it says Nachla, and therefore Achva, Let's try to get our word straight. Therefore it's Achim and Av and not Minayim. Says the Gemara Vilamali. Why do I need such a Gzeir Shava? Says the Gemara, the pasuk says, from his family he inherits. And from there we should be able to learn out the same limud, mishpachas av, kari mishpacha, mishpachas aim, einai karua mishpacha. So says the Gemara, why do we need Gzeir Shava from the word mishpachas? We should be able to learn out the same din. Explains the Gemara, you're right. You're right that we can learn it out from Mishbachas. But says the Gemara, so what do we do with Achva? That's really a drasha with regard to Yibum. We continue, Va'ishas Imai. The Mishnah continued on the very bottom of Kuf Yud Amud Aleph. Says the Gemara that a man inherits his mother when he dies. She does not inherit him. So if you just flip around the vantage point, from the vantage point of the aim, she bequeaths to the son as the son inherits his mother, but she does not inherit the son. So this would be an example of manchilin v'lei nechlin with regard to the mother. Minani milif, where do we know? Step number 1, that the mother is inherited by the son. Where do we know as well? The Gemara is going to explain that the son, comes before the daughters. Titana Rabbanan, we learned in a brayse as we turn over to Kuf Yod Aleph Elon. No, that's a typo. 1 second, let's get the right page up here. Says the Gemara, here it is. V'chol bas yereshes nachla mi mata is b'nei Yisrael. So the Gemara is trying to figure out what's the lima that the father inherits his mother, and it doesn't go to the daughters first, but rather to him, the sons. We learn out from the pasuk that says chobas yereshes nachla, that any daughter who inherits a nachla mimata is b'nei Yisrael, from the matais, from the tribe, from the shvatim of Klal Yisrael. So explains the Gemara, heich bas yereshes shnei matais. Says the Gemara, how do we see this pasuk? And again, let's be clear, this pasuk is talking about a bas. So when is there ever a case that the bas is inheriting 2 different shvatim? Ella, rather, you know what the case must be. Zusha avia mishevet echad v'ima mishevet acher. The mother's from one shevet, the father's from another shevet. Umesu. And what happens? They both, the father and mother, died. V'yirash son, and she, the daughter, inherits them. So what do we see? We see that the daughter inherits a mother. Step number one, says the Gemara 4 lines down, in the Elabas, that only teaches me that a daughter inherits her mother. Ben Minayin, where do we know that a son inherits his mother? Explains the Gemara, Amrit, Kalvachoymer, Uma Bas Shahira Koich. Says the Gemara, once we have a Mekar that a daughter inherits his mother, from the fact that we says Yereshes Nachla Mimatois, teaching that the daughter is going to inherit both father and mother, two different mitatos, two different shvatim. From there says the Gemara, Kavachaimer to the Ben, Abbas, that has a weak koyach minechseyav with regard to her father's estate. Yava koyach minechseim. Yeah, we're learning that she has a strong koyach with regard to the mother's estate. Ben, sheyava koyach minechseyav, inodin sheyava koyach minechseyaim. And that's how we're going to see that the son is going to inherit the mother. Asks the Gemara, well, I should say better, the Brisa continues to explain from this very place that we're explaining the son's ability to inherit the father's estate. Malhalan ben kodim labas, Avkan ben kodim labas. So too over here, yes, the daughter will inherit, yes, the son will inherit, but the son will come before the daughter. That is Shita number 1 in this Brisa. 10 lines down, the first line is labas. Rav Yehuda, Rav Yosi, Amru Misham Rav Zechariah ben Eksaf. So they come along as the Brisa continues and they argue and they learn Echad Haben V'Echad Abbas Shavin B'Nichseyoim. That yes, with regard to the father's estate, of course, the son comes first. But says the Gemara, with regard to the mother's estate, according to Rav Yehuda, Rav Yosi, all in the name of Zechariah ben Aksav, the Ben and the Basra are equal in regard to the mother's estate. My taima, Tayo love him and Adin Lias Kinida, and if the whole thing is coming from the daughter, therefore we can't learn that the son is going to be on a higher level. Says the Gemara, V'Tanakama, Loi Darish Tayo. But so what is the Tanakama? The Tanakama held clearly that the son is at a higher level. But says the Gemara, what does the Tanakama do with this problem of Dayoy, which says you can't be more than that which you're learning from? Vadayu Daraisu. Concept of Dayoy is a din Daraisa, Ditanya. As you learned in a Raisa, mi din Kavachaimer, Ketzad. Going back to Gemara's in Baba Kama, that what's the din Kavachaimer? Vayomer Shama Moshe Vaviyo Yarik Yarak Bifaneo. Says the Basik, the father spits in her face, would she not be embarrassed for 7 days? So certainly the Shechina is going to be more. So why is Miriam only, this is after Miriam says Lashon Moshe Rabbeinu, why does she only have to be secluded for 7 days? Says the Gemara, Kal v'chaimer, that you would think that if you're quote unquote rebuked by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you should have 14 days. So why did Miriam only have to wait 7 days out of the camp? Eladai love him and I didn't Leo's kidney done. If we're learning it out from the regular interactions between man, therefore it can't be more than the man, therefore it can't be more than 7 days. So says the Gemara, we see this concept of Dayoy on a Daraisa level. So asks the Gemara, what does the Tanakama do with this concept? Lias Kinidan answers the Gemara, Ba'alma Darish Dayoy. Really, of course, the Tanakama is a maskim to the mechanics, maskim to the dynamics that there's such a concept of Dayoy V'shayni Acha, but of course he's machalik that our case that we're coming mata is makish mita excuse me, lamita mamita ben kodin labas amita ben kodin labas. Says the Gemara, it's from the Hekish, and the Hekish will be even more powerful, and thereby allow us to learn even seemingly more than Dayoy that the ben is yes koidem labas. Says the Gemara, Rav Nitai Savar Lemevid Ovada Kirav Zechariah ben Aksav Omer Leishmuel Kaman and Kizchariah Efes Zechariah. You doing like Zechariah? Says Shmuel. Zechariah is 0. We don't follow Zechariah. Rav Tavla of the Krev Zachariah ben Eksav. Rav Nachman, my what are you doing? So the first sheet elder was nothing. Clearly, this sheet disagrees. He says, no, get out of here. Go and be chayzer v'layim. Avkina l'cha Rav Chanina bar Shalmaya me'oinech. And if you're not chayzer, I'll take Rav Chanina bar Shalmaya that's going to argue on you. A third story, Rav Huna bar Achia, Savar l'mevid of the Krev Zachariah ben Eksav. Amar Rav Nachman, my hay, Amar leid, Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav Krev Zachariah ben Eksav, Amar lei, Ashach lei. So he responded to him, I'll send you to Rav Huna, we'll see what he says. If so, Rav Huna bar Achia was embarrassed. Amar lei, Rav Nachman says to him, Ashtoi ki nachlam shed Rav Huna. Now, says Rav Nachman to Rav Huna bar Achia, now Rav Huna is already nifter. It's Risis likibli. You are arguing just strongly against him. Why? Because you should have been chayzer of you kaman svara. So who does he hold like? Says Mark other Rav Shmuel, Rav Shmuel, Dermatabayo in halacha, Krav Zachariah ben Eksav. They argue. They say we don't pass Krav Zachariah ben Eksav. And one last story. We're 12 lines down. The first one line is ben Eksav. Says the Gemara mistamich va'ozil Rav Yanai akasve Rav Simlai. Rav Yanai was walking, leading on the shoulder of Simlai. Shami, Shamish, Vaz Rav Yehuda Nisiya Lapayu. Yehuda Nisiya came towards them. Amrle Bar Inish Tasli Kabilna. So Rav Simlai says, a person's coming towards us. Hu Yai Vigolse Yai. He is chashiv. His clothing is chashiv. Kimatali Gabe Gishasha. When they came close, Rav Yanai felt the clothes of Rav Yehuda. Amrle Din Shiure Kisak. He said the fabric of this is cheap quality. It would be just like sak with regard to dinim of toma. So after such a give and take with the ben, Nisiya says of Rav Yanai minayin leben shekaydin labas v'nichseayim. And this, of course, why the whole story is brought down. Omer leidel say matais makish mitaim lemitav ma mitav and go to labas amitaim and go to labas. If you're equating the dinim together, then there should also be a din of pishnayim, which of course we know does not apply, it rather only applies to the son. So Rav Yanai says to his attendants on the top line of Kivit Alpha and Aleph, good less din savei lemilaf. So Rav Yanai says to Shamish, come, let's continue walking. This person doesn't want to actually learn anything from us. So says the Gemara, so what exactly is going on over here? Why Lemaisa is Rav Yehuda's kasha not a good kasha? Rabbi Amar Crocs, we have a pasuk. Anything that is found with him, loy veloy la. So here we see that the din of Yibatzei loy, which is the din of the Nachla, din of Pishnayim, din of a Bachar, is only coming from loy and not from la. Ask the Gemara, Ve'im hanimi li Bachar shenasa hamon, have a Bachar shenasa besula, hachinami dishakel. Says the Gemara, wait, maybe this is only the case of a new marriage, of a non-new marriage, Bachar shenasa almana. Maybe that's when he doesn't get pishnayim. But Bachar shenasa besula, and then the Bachar as a double din of Bachar. Maybe there is a din of Nachla in her estate. So the Gemara is asking that if you want to make a carte blanche rule that there's no din of pishnayim from the mother, we have to iron it out and make sure the case doesn't exist. So Amar Nachman Yitzchak Amar Kra Reishis Oinoi says the pasuk is beginning of his strength. That's where the din of pishnayim Oinoi v'loy Oina, and that's where it teaches us that the din of getting double only is from the father and not from the mother. Asks the Gemara Humi Baile. But 1 second, we need this pasuk Lava Yacher Nefalim. That if there's a child after an nifel, after miscarriage, that child doesn't get a din of a bechar. Says the Gemara, Mishalibo Dava Alav. Why? Because the first one that is a din of Dava is a din of mourning upon. Therefore, there is a din of bechar on the child, on the child that comes after the nifel. Yatzazesh Ein Libo Dava Alav on the nifel, and therefore there is a din of bechar on the first child afterwards. So says the Gemara, so we need the pasuk for this din. Answers the Gemara, Im Kelim Makraki Urashis Oin. My Oinoi? Shema mina taharit, you can learn out both dinim. Vakate ema hani mili alma shasab sula. Says Mara, wait. Avabach shasab sula achanami the shakal. Still, we're trying to cross all our T's. That maybe if they're both parents, it's their first child, they'll be different. Elamarav amar kra loy mishvata b'chayra leish. Loy mishvata b'chayra leisha. That the din of b'chayra, says the Gemara, a new limud doesn't apply to a girl. Why? Because loy mishvata b'chayra and not to law. Ish as ishtai, in 8 lines from the Y lines, we quote the next part of the Mishnah that a person inherits his wife, but again, she does not inherit him. The same theme that when it comes to the mother, it comes to the wife, they are inherited by their relatives, but they do not inherit back. Basically, that they will bequeath to others, but they don't inherit themselves. Menahani, immediately where we know this from the Tanur Rabbanan, says the Gemara, She'erai zu ishtai. One she'er is referred to his wife. Malami, what does this teach us? Shabal Yeris is ishtai. Yachal afi tirshanu. Tamalay Rav Yeris Shaisa. Who Yeris Shaisa? Veni Yeris Shaisa. I vakar live lachi CV. So what the pasuk referring to. Rabbi Tirsachi. Read it as follows. When it said as nachlasa lakarve love, you should give your nachla to who closest to you. She'erai v'yarash Isa. And the second part of the pasuk says the she'er, you should inherit it. So what do we see? We see it's 2 different dinim, and therefore we don't learn one from the other. Amai Rava, Sakina Chariva, Mafsei Kara, says Rava, what in the world? You're learning a pasuk as 2 totally different things. How could you say that? Ella Amai Rava, in the first one line, Sakina Chariva, Mafsei Kara, Amai Rava, Achikamer, Nesatim Esnaklas She'ira Loi, Nesatim Esnaklas She'ira Loi, Kasavar, Gairin, Umaisifin, Vidarshin, we subtract and we can Umaisif, and therefore from Nachlasa L'She'ira, we create a new word of Loi, that only goes Loi to him and not to the mother. We'll stop over here, we'll pick it up over here, delving deeper into this drush in the next year. B'siyata Dishmaya.